All right, we're going to get started. Thanks again for being here, everybody. My name's Yael. Welcome to the Getting Started with Guru Learning Lab. This is the first one called Building the Foundation of Your Knowledge. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to take everything that you could learn about Guru and break it into just small steps over the course of the next three. Today, we're just going to focus on structuring your knowledge base, organizing your groups, and taking inventory of your knowledge so that you can review the current state and get ready for more use of Guru in the future. My name's Yael. I'm going to be your host today, but this won't just be me talking the whole time. This is supposed to be interactive, so we're going to have questions along the way, polls, real-time demos, and time for you to try things. So it's really important that you have your Guru instance open. Take a second right now to open up your web app.getguru.com. If you don't have one yet, it's really easy to sign up. Just go to bit.ly/try-guru. And I know a lot of you are taking notes, and that's awesome. I'm taking notes too. You might hear my paper rustling over here. But in case you miss anything, we're going to send you the recording later. Don't worry about it. So here are a couple of guidelines. Here's how this is going to work. We do want your participation here. So we're going to start out by providing you with a concept. I mentioned those concepts at the top, talking about collections, talking about groups. We'll talk about how that helps you in Guru. We'll then tie that in with a real story about one of our customer champions who has used this to their advantage. And then we'll get some due time for you to try this out in your own instance. So to start out, I'd like to understand what brings you here today. I'm going to launch a poll right now. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Just in the chat, please put down some of the reasons that you signed up today. What might have brought you here? Whoops. I see here to learn about better knowledge management. Great. Just created a Guru team, not sure what to do first. That's a common one. That makes sense. We'll help you, don't worry. You're thinking about moving off of your current knowledge base. Okay, learn how to use Guru across multiple parts of your organization. That's great. We're going to help you do all of those things. Our mission statement here at Guru is that the knowledge that you need to do your job should find you when and where you need it. We've worked with hundreds of customers who have realized that, having that knowledge, finding you, is a serious problem. They're not able to do it with other tools, and knowledge is the center to their key success. So let's think more broadly here. What is knowledge? We've learned from a lot of customers on this. It's, of course, the information necessary for you to complete your everyday tasks. Now, what that means individually can vary. Is it the answer to a customer question? Is it steps to take in a process when doing something? Is it a sales asset? Is it an HR question like your company's PTO policy? It's all of those. Knowledge is the full body of everything that you need to complete your everyday tasks. So to ground that in a real example, I want to introduce you to one of our customer champions. This is Joe. He is the head of content management at a startup in New York City. He's responsible for ensuring that his revenue team, which means his sales and support team, has all the info and training that they need to be able to perform their jobs. And in order to do that, he has to get information from a lot of different sources. Product, marketing, customer success, sales, the management team, and all put them into one place. So we're going to talk about some of the foundational steps today that Joe took in order to make sure that his team was set up for that success. First, let's talk about knowledge structure. After working with a lot of different teams, we found that these three elements are helpful to keep in mind when thinking about your knowledge base. You want one location to find all up-to-date knowledge. You want it organized based on topic or department. And you want to be able to provide the right access and the right permissions for your team so that people only see what they need. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of noise and they won't be able to get just what they want. Now we're going to go through this in more detail in the next Getting Started session, but this is just a broad overview of how knowledge is structured in Guru. Today we're going to focus mostly on just collections, which is the highest level of organization. So to put this from a metaphorical perspective, if knowledge is music, then collections are the concert or the festival. It's where you go to get the knowledge. It's labeled by topic or department, can be general for the entire company, or maybe sales focused or support focused. And based on that, it's a permission and access based folder. Other knowledge bases use the term folder to describe the highest level of knowledge organization. At Guru, we call it a collection. It can be cross-department or secret to your team. So you can choose who can see and edit what based on your needs. So I'm gonna launch a poll here. You should see it appear. What I wanna know is, what is the one place that your team goes daily for answers to frequently used questions? Looks like a good bit of you are using Slack. That's great. I'm seeing a few different other places, Google Drive, Confluence, Zendesk. Great, so yeah, Slack is the biggest, Slack and Teams is the biggest, and then Google Drive, Confluence, Zendesk seem to be the next ones. Lucky for you guys, Guru can help connect all of those different sources of knowledge to create one unified location for information. Now, if you did check more than one place in that poll, you're a lot like our friend Joe. He realized that his sales team was spending a lot of their time in their day-to-day just going to many different sources to try to find knowledge. Marketing kept their collateral in one location. Support had their answers in Zendesk. What Guru did was allow him to unify all of that knowledge together. All right, so in order for us to get to that point, let's dive into Guru and create a collection for your team. Let me show you how that works. From your team settings, go to your collections and create a new collection. I'm going to call this one Company Knowledge and say all of the HR policies for our team. I'm going to set the experts group as the collection owner and pick a color. I'm partial to pink. Save. And it's that easy to create a collection and permission who can see and edit it. So now you try. I've got the steps up here. Go to the web app, click on your avatar as I did, go to your team settings, click on the collections tab, and create a new collection. I'll give you 4 minutes to try this out on your own. I'll be in the chat if you have any questions. See you in a minute. Oh, I got a good question I want to make sure I address. One person said that they weren't able to see the option to create a new collection. You do have to be an admin in your team in order to do this. So if you're not an admin, either get admin access from somebody who is, have them add you as an admin, or show them these steps so that they can create a new collection. Thank you for the question. Another good question. I'm setting up my Guru team for multiple departments. Should I create multiple collections? Absolutely. Definitely do that. We're going to get into next how to set up groups so you can make groups that are specific to each of those collections. For right now, just create one. And then when we make some groups for your different teams, you can create collections for each of those. Thanks for the question. We'll give you all just another minute to do all of this before we keep going. All right, we're going to move on. If you didn't have time to fully create your collection or you didn't get admin access, like I said, I will send you the recording later, and all of this information is available in our help center. So don't worry, we'll be happy to help you more later when you're ready. Next thing we're going to talk about. Oh, really quick before I move on, if you are new to Guru, you can try a collection framework. We just released this. We want you to try it out and get your feedback. If you start a new trial, this will appear. You will see it if you are the first user to log in. If you're already in a trial, please reach out to our support team using the chat with us button from the web app or by writing into support@getguru.com and ask them to put in one of these frameworks. These are just some collections with template cards that'll get you started. Now, I want to talk about organizing your groups. This way you can get more out of your contributors and users and one day your analytics. The way that you build your group should reflect the way that your team's organization is structured. So for each team, you should have an expert and an audience and give those people the right access and permissions for your team. So think about it from a sales perspective. You have sales experts who are writing the collateral and sales users, the reps who are taking it in. Same thing with for a support team. You have your support experts, might be your subject matter experts, and then your support team who just need to read the support content and get to it all the time. For your general knowledge, like what I just created for the company knowledge, all members of your team probably have to read that since everybody will need to access HR policies and that kind of thing. So think right now about who on your team is going to need to be the experts and who are going to need to be the audience. Who will need to be author, who will need to be read only. Just as we think about collections as the festival, groups are the artists and the audience. You can see that we have 3 different permission levels: collection owner, author, and read only. Those groups can also be the only ones who see the collection at all. You can remove all members as a group from the collection and just have these different groups that you have designated be the only ones who can even see the information. When you give somebody access as read only, you're giving them just access to see the information. When you give somebody access as author, they can edit any of the cards therein. Setting up your groups now is going to really easily help you filter your analytics in the future so that you can see which authors are adding new information and which people are reading the information that you're providing. We've talked a little bit about authors having clear ownership over knowledge. So I'm curious, when's the last time that your team used not clearly owned information? I'm going to launch the poll now. Just let me know, when's the last time that your team owned information that wasn't clearly owned? Looks like most of you are experiencing this issue of not clear ownership in the last month or the last week even, so pretty frequently. So since you have the opportunity to build out your knowledge now anew with Guru, it's really important to think about who's going to own what. And if you find knowledge to be a frequent problem, again, you're not alone. You're just like our friend Joe. While he was wrangling up a lot of the knowledge from his different teams, he wasn't sure who to ask if that information was up to date. And he wasn't even sure what to change if it wasn't up to date. So by setting up his groups like this to manage who was authoring and who was reading, he had clearly assigned owners that would be assigned every bit of knowledge in the sales collection, while the sales reps could find all of the information that they needed to close more deals. All right, so we've talked a lot about groups. Let's make one. I'll show you how. Back over here, and I'm back in my team settings. So again, how to get here is by clicking on your avatar and going to your team settings. And just like last time, you do need to be a team admin in order to do this, in order to even see most of this. But if I go into my groups, I can see that I have one group currently, experts. Since I made a company knowledge collection for HR policies, I want to make an HR leaders group that can author content in that collection. So I'm going to go over here and say create group. I'm going to say HR experts. There you go. Now I have the group. And if I wanted to, I can even add them here. HR experts, allow access, and give them author access. See, it's that easy. Now you try. In the web app, go to users and collections and create a group. Once the group is created, add a group to whatever collections you want them to be in. Give the group author permissions where they need. I'll give you guys another 4 minutes to try this out. I'll be here on the chat if you need me. Got a great question in the chat. What is a collection owner group? Collection owners is a little more complicated than just author and read only. It's a level above author where you can decide who else in the company can see knowledge from that collection. So it gets into the level of permissioning boards, which we're not going to get into until next week. For now, just worry about authors and read-only access. You can designate one group as collection owner if you think in the future that group will own all of the content in the collection, but it's not anything you have to worry about today. Great question. I got one more good question here. Can I add an individual to have access in a collection? No, collections are only as the collection permissioning is only for groups, but you can have a group that's just one person. So if you set a group, if you only have one sales enablement person on your team, for example, make a group that's sales enablement, just add that one person there, then give them the appropriate access. And then in the future, when other people join that person's team, because of course your company is going to grow and do great things now that you have fast access to knowledge, then that person will be able to add their new team members to that sales enablement group. All right, I hope everybody had a chance to try this out. If you hadn't, like I said, we'll send you the recording later. We'll also be available to help after this is over. But for now, I'd like to move on and talk about how to take inventory, how to do an effective knowledge review. And what I mean by this is a review of your knowledge as it currently stands outside of Guru. So when we say taking inventory, what we mean is describing the current state of things. This is how you identify and gain access to all your knowledge sources, vet what is up to date, add in missing info, and determine who owns what, who owns which piece of knowledge. That will help you identify who is going to be in what group. How this is going to pay off later is that once you migrate or sync things into Guru, you will be able to do it effectively the first time and get value out of Guru right away. You'll also have a network of champions that you can lean on for when anything goes wrong, if you need to update things in the future, if you need to make sure that you need to fix something in your knowledge, you will already have that group established. It's going to make things a lot easier for you to build adoption in the long term. So, keeping that network of champions in mind, identify one person on your team who would be helpful in reviewing the current state of knowledge with you. Go ahead and give that person a shout out in the chat. Whether it's your manager, your enablement leader, any other content leader, let me know who that person is that's going to help you review your knowledge. Sounds like multiple team members would be helpful here. Yes, that's absolutely correct. This person has an entire content management team. That's great. That's good that your team already prioritizes knowledge like that, to have a whole content management team. Your direct manager, great. Yeah, if you've identified one or many people who could be in your network of champions, then once again, you are just like Joe. Joe realized the current state of his team's knowledge, and when he was doing this inventory, he realized that there were a lot of people across the company who needed to find information. It all felt like a very disjointed, time-consuming process for each one of them to maintain things. So with Guru, he was able to build that knowledge network, to find the right people who are going to be able to answer the right question and tap into them. And we know this might feel like a daunting task, which is why we've made it easy for you. You can go to this bit.ly link, bit.ly/no review, and make a copy of this spreadsheet. Here, I'll click on it here. You can make a copy of this spreadsheet by going here and make it your own knowledge review. And here you'll fill out what the knowledge source is, who owns it, what knowledge does your team need from this source, and what access do you need. Now this is going to be your homework. We have Help Center links over here to help you if you need. But between now and the next session, I would love for all of you to fill all of this out so that we can get really deep into this process next time. So please bring your completed spreadsheet. Be prepared to share in the chat. Again, that's bit.ly/no review. So next time we're going to structure your knowledge base. Oh, sorry. Like I said, by the end of this, we'll be able to structure your knowledge base, organize your groups, and take inventory. I think we've effectively done that today. Next time, on the 26th, so this time next week, we're going to explore what good knowledge looks like. So we're going to look at that inventory sheet, see what knowledge looks good, bring that into Guru. And the week after that, we're going to talk about how to roll out Guru, how to be in the know. We're going to augment your workflows, roll out Guru to your entire team. So notice the time difference here. Next week is going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. The week after, back to this same time. They're all on Thursdays, though. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So you will get the most out of this if you attend all 3 of these sessions. Now, if you want to get started, if you're itching to get more, can't wait until next Thursday, go into our Guru Help Center, help.getguru.com. Explore all of our articles, start to see how we can help you. You can also chat with us. From the web app menu, from your avatar, you should see a chat with us option to contact our support team. You can also schedule a time with one of our customer success managers for a Guru consultation on a variety of different topics. They are all listed at calendly.com/guru-consultation. Do you have any thoughts on how today's session went? Any comments? Was there something missing that you want to get more information on that you wish we had covered today, or that we were covering at all in these Getting Started with Guru Learning Labs? Please go to this link, bit.ly/getgurustarted. We want to hear from you. We want to make sure that this is as awesome an experience for you as possible when you're getting your team set up in Guru. And with that, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for attending. Thank you for participating with us and asking your questions. I will leave it open for any final questions that you might have. Please let me know here. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks again. A great question came in that I want to make sure we answer. I am an admin. Can I start adding content? You can if you have author access in the collections, which since you're an admin, you can also give yourself author access. You can be, so it's 2 different layers of permission here. An admin gives you the, admin ability gives you the option to create collections and create groups and modify those things. Author gives you the ability to create content. So just make sure you put yourself into an author group, like experts, whatever you set up as the expert author group, put yourself in there, and then you'll be able to add content. Great question, thank you. Can you give us an example of how a customer would use Guru across an entire organization and the value of using Guru across an entire organization? Love that question. I have a lot of org-wide customers. I think that the main thing to tell people is that since Guru lives right in their workflows, which is something we'll go over more in Learning Lab 3, Since Guru lives right where people work, in Slack, in a browser extension, wherever they are, they can access all of the knowledge that they need across all of the teams fast without having to work just in their little silos. A lot of times what we see is sales team has their information in a sales asset manager, HR policies are in an intranet, customer support information is in Zendesk Guide or Confluence. And now, by bringing all of that into Guru, you get fast access to whatever you need across the entire company anytime that you need. So those are the talking points that I would use when you're starting to talk to other teams about Guru. But like I said, we'll get more into that in Learning Lab 3. So come back in 2 weeks for that one. If I'm currently using a homegrown intranet, what's the best way for me to link that into Guru? That's a great question. There's two different approaches we can take here, and we'll talk about this next time. You can either migrate that information into Guru using spreadsheets, which is an approach that we'll show you. It's also available on our help center if you want to dig more into that. Or if you want it to still live on your intranet, but for people to be able to link to it from Guru, access it from Guru, best thing to do is to provide a link with a short blurb about what they can find on that page on the Guru card. So two different approaches, just determines whether or not you want to replace your intranet with Guru, what value you could see out of that. So we'll talk more about that next time. Be sure to come back so we can dig more into that. All right, looks like people are starting to leave, which I assume means that I've answered all of your questions. Please, like I said, reach out to us if there's anything else that we can help with. But again, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate all of your participation. Have a wonderful rest of your day.